So you reminded me, Christy thinks it was intentional that you reminded me.
Yes.
Probably actually so.
Yeah.
This month is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Mm-hmm. Very important.
And a lot of times that can get tricky, I think, for a lot of people, especially as followers of Jesus. So we get this like weird pressure. We think that, hey, it's okay that my body breaks down in other ways. Like, oh, people get cancer. Okay, well, that's, how do we help? That's really sad. Like, how do we, you know? But I get some kind of mental illness. I struggle with some kind of mental health. I don't know. Like, shouldn't I just be okay because I love Jesus?
Right. Like there's this expectation because you follow Christ that you should automatically have this incredible joy. And I think we get confused even on that word joy, what that really means. But I think, you know, you see a Christian who's dealing with depression or mental illness. And sometimes in Christianity, in the Christian world, it's kind of like, what's wrong with them? Or, you know, something's wrong with them. And what all does that mean? So we just kind of want to talk to you a little bit about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, even the way that you said that, what's wrong with them, like if the tone is, hey, what's wrong, is totally different than what's wrong with you.
Right.
You know, and that would probably be a good first step, is just to have some compassion for people that struggle with mental, emotional, relational, and spiritual issues. And I wonder who that leaves out. Who has ascended to the heights. And so we all have maybe different struggles. One book that I read, Mental Illness and the Church, talks about how mental illness is the no casserole illness. So you think about like the church community groups and people bringing food, but if you're laid up in depression, probably not. You know, if you're paralyzed by anxiety and scared to leave your house for whatever reason, like, no, probably not, you know, probably not going to get on the meal train for that. And so there is something amiss, I think, in our Christian call to love like Jesus and be like Jesus, that here's an opportunity. Maybe you don't quite understand, but that would be a great opportunity to say, hey, help me understand what you're going through. And just to hear them out and to see what help might look like. Yeah.
Well, I have a good friend that I work with that he had a traumatic event that happened, and tragic loss, and the event itself was tragic. And he was talking to me about how he battles depression now ever since then. And he's about 40 years old. I think that's how old he is. And prior to that, he was like, he always kind of thought, you know, you just need to suck it up and grow up, you know, get tougher. He didn't believe that people truly battle with depression and had, it's especially common. Christians, right?
Yeah, right.
and he's a strong believer, and now he gets it. He's like, oh, this is a thing. But I also don't want to make it feel or seem hopeless either, because that's where God comes in, right?
Yeah, there's help. And how often does God come through a person or people that love you? And that's what I would say someone who's a mental health professional could be, that they're trained in a certain way that they can listen and respond, that is really meant to give your thoughts and feelings and choices back to you in a way that helps you reflect. There are other things that go on, but that's one of the core things. It might be different than a pastoral counselor who might say, let's open up this passage. But why not go and check out both and see how it helps? You know, in addition to a friend, hey, can you pray for me? Like, we need all the help and grace that we can get. So let's not cut ourselves off from that. If you do find, man, I am doing these things. I'm praying, I'm seeking out, you know, friends and other Christians, my pastor, and something is still, well, maybe that's your opportunity to seek a different kind of help from a mental health professional and just see what might happen.
That's really, really, really good. And I love the idea that we can be the casserole Christians.
Yes.
For mental health, right? To just love on each other in the midst of those things. They're very real for a lot of us.
Yes.
So thanks, Chaplain Justin.
You're welcome.